I'm very happy to be here and to talk to you about the evolution of how Odoo manages the different localizations in V17 and of course what we plan to do next in the future. My name is Benjamin Stienon. I'm a product owner here at Odoo for 3 years and a half, probably, something like that. May I ask you, please, to raise your hands if you listen to me so that I have an overview of who's listening? Whoa. Okay, now the pressure is on me. Well, I'll try to have this talk interactive and probably we'll have more to share in the questions than things to show. Why? Because, well, localizations is always a concern. When I talk about Malaysia, probably the Germans care less and the other way around. So I'll try to remain kind of generic, but of course, if you are here, it probably means that you have questions that you want to tackle, and there is value in answering the questions. First of all, let's have a fresh look at the map of the world. Here you have an idea of how broad are the challenges that we face. In green, you have the countries where we brought new features. In blue, you have the ones that were completely revamped. And in orange, you have countries where there was already a localization, probably data, and we brought some changes due to requirements that change, chart of account, taxes that evolve with the time. And this gives you an overview. It's quite impressive. Now, thing is, how do we do that, and how can we, together with the partners, collaborate on the evolution of the different localizations? I will develop it in three slides, from the smallest one to the most complex one. The localizations, sorry, are often data modules. Basically, it contains chart of accounts that we have to know about. It contains taxes, specific fiscal positions, reports, and in those matters, to be honest, the partners know better than we do. A Spanish partner will know better the Spanish evolutions that we, as Belgian, most of the time, because the R&D is mainly in Belgium, we know less. That, of course, for those flows, you can either come to us and provide the documentation, and then we do it with pleasure, or you can, if you are into the technical aspects of Odoo, you can as well propose a pull request that we will review. But we trust you quite easily. Certainly for a new localization, we remain critic, but the process is very fast, or can be very fast. Don't hesitate to contact us on GitHub, plus me or the other POs, so that we know about the existence of the pull request and that we can ask some questions and go ahead. But it's very, technically it's very simple. Bringing a new chart of account, new taxes, doesn't come with technical complexity. Then there are, let's say, model updates. For example, when you need to add a specific field that matters to you in your localization and that should not impact the other localizations, this is quite simple as well. But we ask for discussion of the specs so that as generic editor, we have an overview of the impact that one localization can have on different localizations. We know for sure that it's a concern that not everyone has natively, because when you develop your own localization, once it works, it's okay. But we have to consider it in a multi-company environment. You all know that we use our own tools ourselves, and each time we add a new module, we have to pay attention that it doesn't conflict, it doesn't break anything, it doesn't slow the performances of the database ours plus the database of anyone else that would use your localization. So this is why we need some interactions to discuss the specs, and this goes together with a meeting with the POs. So no matter how, be it via email, calls, whatever, but we try to discuss the specs. And the flow is quite easy as well. Now come the specific features and Python code or complexity. In those cases, what we do is that we develop ourselves most of the time. We are sometimes asked if we are interested in buying the code that already exists, etc., in partnering. But out of my experience, we don't do that because there is always in the details something that needs us to reconsider the way it has been developed. So the added value here in those specific conditions is to discuss the business need. Us as PO, my fellow POs and myself, we need to understand in depth the need and to challenge the need together with you so that we keep things simple as can be, as maintainable as can be, and we will develop it ourselves most of the time. The benefit of it, the added value of it, sorry, for you is that you won't have to maintain it. Once it's developed internally, we maintain it ourselves. In Odoo 17, what is new? There are a few key features that I must at least mention for those who didn't attend the previous talks, but I will just summarize in bullet points. We've been asked for long for Odoo to become an access point on PEPL, and the last 2 years, certainly we delayed because we were not ready, but now it's a reality. We are not only an access point on the network, but we are also a service metadata publisher, so we can announce your presence on the network. Sorry for my voice, I'm getting sick. This feature comes for free in Odoo. I think it's a game changer that you won't be charged anything for the traffic of invoices, neither sent nor received. This is key. It's available in community modules, in community, because it's an invoicing feature. Invoicing is in community, so for us it was absolutely obvious that it had to be in community. We are an access point, we are a service metadata publisher. The flow is as simple as can be. We tried to have the usability of it for the first connection, but also for the sending and the reception as obvious as can be. And the future will tell us if we succeeded. You can send and receive not only invoices, but also credit notes. And we support the formats that are meant to be, that are required on the network. So as an access point, we are supposed to support the BIS3 format, for example. This is the minimum. But of course, it's not restricted to that. Other formats can navigate. We don't support all the formats that can navigate, but it's an open door for analyzing whether specific formats in specific countries are worth working on it so that we can improve the business flows on a daily basis. And each time it will be an analysis. But for now, we support certainly the minimum requirement of PEPL and more. Then we revamped the VIS check. So for you to know what the VIS check is, it's a validation of the identity of your partners when you have transactions that cross EU borders. As a supplier, if I sell something, as a Belgian supplier, if I sell something to a Hungarian customer, and this customer has a valid tax ID in his country, in Hungary, then I can transfer the responsibility of the tax declaration on his shoulders, because basically he has a number and the tax that applies is Hungarian, so it's easier. And the EU offers that we transfer the responsibility on the customers. It comes together with a certain number of validation. As a supplier, it's something I can do, but I need to validate myself first that I can do that. Else, I am still in charge of invoicing the VAT properly. Even though it's Hungarian, it's my responsibility to provide that money to the Hungarian authorities. Unless I checked the identity, the validity of the tax ID of my Hungarian customer in this case. We changed the way it worked a little so that we fine-tune the fiscal position that applies once the VIS check is valid. What is the VIS check? It's a database. This is a database provided by the EU so that we can check the identity of the counterpart of a transaction. This VIS check, once performed, will remember its output. Is the partner valid or not? And depending on that, the proper fiscal position will apply. Of course, a database can contain errors. So if it happened that the VIS database was incorrect, in the back office, the accountant, the user, they can overcome the output of this VIS check, and they can say, okay, no, me, myself, I know that even though the VIS database says it's not valid, I know myself for sure that this partner is valid, or the other way around. And the user has the final word and can change the value of the checkbox. Any change will be tracked in the chatter of the partner so that you know who changed and what, and potentially if he added a reason, he can demonstrate why. So I come now with a quick presentation. USA, we are about to deprecate the tax cloud mechanism in favor of another one. In Europe, we did quite a lot of things. I will not mention them. You will go directly to the ones you want. But these are major changes. In Luxembourg, we support the annual tax report. We already did, but now it is integrated with the new reports that match together with the sections. In France, we have implemented the EDI TVA, VAT, so that you can declare your VAT from Odoo immediately, automatically. Together with the fiscal roundings, it couldn't go without it. We made plenty of improvements in Italy, which is a key market, which is a key country where they have their specific electronic invoicing on domestic level. So we had to implement some flows together with the split payment for B2G transactions, and so on and so on. Sorry about the countries that I don't mention. In Latin America as well, as you can see, Mexico had a lot of our attention. In Africa as well, we brought new features in Kenya for their Kenyan EDI. But again, diving in the details of one localization doesn't seem to me like the proper thing to do here. For that, don't hesitate to come to our demo booth of accounting. It's the same team that does the two aspects, accounting, the generic features, plus localizations. We made it simple at Odoo, and it comes together. So you have the same people working for the generic features and for the way we adapt those features for the local markets. And again, my slides are just a list. I should have removed the 2 points because I didn't put any additional information. What's next? We are very often asked about what's next, and we like that challenge. The main things that I can mention that will concern multiple persons here are that we started the process of a GOBD certification. This process is still in progress, and hopefully in the coming weeks or months we will obtain that. Same for Portugal, the certification for the invoicing system. It's mandatory to be certified in order to sell in Portugal. In Switzerland, as discussed earlier today, as we will discuss later this afternoon, we are we have developed an integration with the billing platform because Switzerland is out of EU, even though they are in the area they are out of EU, so they have their specific mechanism, and we have developed it. But now it's the phases of paperwork about that, and what's next? The Odoo experience is a good opportunity for us to determine together with you what will be our roadmap for the future. I thank you for listening. I hope I didn't take too much time and that you will have the opportunity to ask some questions. Thank you.